Today, we are diving deep into something that affects millions of people, often without them even knowing it: kidney damage. But we're also going to look at how two very common spices, when used together, can put a stop to one of the most destructive things that can happen to your kidneys. So, can a spice you probably have in your kitchen right now actually stop permanent kidney damage? It sounds like a pretty bold claim, I know, but the science we're about to get into is it's incredibly compelling. We're going to look at a microscopic battle happening inside your cells and see how a really simple change can completely turn the tide. And this is why we have to talk about this. It's so critical. See, kidney decline doesn't announce itself. There's no big warning sign. It's a silent process that can build and build for years. By the time most people finally notice that something's wrong, a whole lot of permanent damage has already been done. This right here, this is the point of no return. It's called renal fibrosis. And it's not just damage, it's the end of the road for parts of your kidney. It's what happens when chronic, simmering inflammation causes your functional kidney tissue to get replaced by useless scar tissue. Let's just be crystal clear about what we're up against. Your kidneys have millions of tiny little filters, right? Well, when chronic damage causes one of those filters to scar over, it's gone. For good. Your body just can't grow a new one. That's why preventing the scarring in the first place is so absolutely essential. Okay, so to figure out how to stop it, we have to zoom way, way in. We need to go from the organ level down to the cellular level to find the one little switch that's causing all of this chaos. And here it is. Meet the bad guy in our story, NF-kappa B. The easiest way to think about it is as the main alarm switch inside your kidney cells. When it gets flipped, it tells the cell, hey, start an inflammatory response, now. And if that response stays on for too long, it leads directly to the scarring we call fibrosis. Now, here's where a normal, healthy process goes completely off the rails. In a healthy person, this switch turns on to fight something bad, like an infection, and then it turns off. But when you're dealing with chronic disease or stress, that switch can get jammed in the on position. And that means nonstop inflammation leading to relentless scarring. So if NF-kappa B is the problem, the question is, how do we turn that darn switch off? Well, it turns out nature has already provided a pretty amazing solution. Let's talk about curcumin. It's the powerful active compound in that golden spice, turmeric, and it's basically our cellular hero. It doesn't just treat the symptoms, it goes right to the root of the problem. Research has shown that it directly interferes with that NF-kappa B pathway, essentially flicking that stuck inflammation switch back to off. This stops the scarring process in its tracks and gives the tissue a chance to actually repair itself the right way. So, just to recap, this is the core of the issue. That constant, low-level inflammation is what triggers fibrosis, that permanent scarring. Curcumin looks like the perfect tool to stop this, but there's a catch. A big one. And here's the massive problem. You could eat pounds of turmeric, but your body can't really absorb the curcumin inside. On its own, something like 99% of it just passes right through your system without doing a thing. It's completely wasted. I mean, just look at this. Taking curcumin by itself is almost useless. It's like you've got the perfect key for a lock, but you can't even get the key through the front door of the building. So how on earth do we unlock its power? This number changes the entire game. The answer comes from another spice you definitely have: black pepper. There's a compound in pepper called piperine, and it has been shown to increase your body's absorption of curcumin by a staggering 2,000%. This quote really just says it all. Piperine is the amplifier. What it does is it basically forces open these little doorways in your intestinal wall, which allows all that curcumin to flood into your bloodstream where it can do its job, instead of just getting flushed away. So they have to be taken together. It's non-negotiable. And here's the happy ending to our little cellular story. Piperine is the key that unlocks the door. Curcumin rushes inside, finds that stuck NF-kappa B switch, flips it off, and finally halts that vicious cycle of inflammation and scarring right at the source. Okay, so now that we get the science, how do we actually put this to work? Let's turn all this knowledge into a really simple, actionable plan that you can use. It's really just 3 simple steps. First, the dose. You're going to want between 500 and 2,000 milligrams of a standardized curcumin extract, not just plain turmeric powder. Second, the mix. You have to combine it with a pinch of black pepper for that piperine and a healthy fat, like coconut oil or olive oil, helps with absorption even more. And third, timing. You want to take this in the evening. So why this exact plan? Well, the dose is high enough to actually have a therapeutic effect. The mix, with the pepper and fat, makes sure your body can actually absorb and use the curcumin. And the timing is so important because your body does its most intense repair and detox work overnight while you're sleeping. Taking this in the evening means you're giving your body the tools it needs right when its natural repair cycle is kicking into high gear. So if you only remember one thing from all of this, please let it be this next idea. I love this analogy. Curcumin is the tool that can pick the lock of inflammation, for sure. But piperine is the master key that actually gets the lockpick inside the building to do its job. One without the other is, well, it's pretty much useless. They are a team, and you have to use them like one. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If the answer to a problem this complex could be sitting in our spice cabinets, what other incredible natural keys to our health have we been overlooking? What else is hiding right there in plain sight?